I
I
think that would
mean,
be very dangerous. Like, whoa!
I'm assuming the users would have gotten used to this over time. You know, like
Yeah.
somebody who's afraid of an escalator just finally gets used to escalators. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with some more Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I guess I can no longer say Gaiden, as this is just a movie that we're doing today, and technically, as I've understood it, the first 2 episodes of the show was a little extra. And to address the elephant in the room, yes, we're still going to be watching the first 2 episodes, despite the 7 comments I've seen praying to God, evidently, that we don't do that. Even though I think that 2 other people did say that they expected us to. The element therein is that somebody who's watching the movie will watch it separately. People who are watching the show are probably going to jump in on the first episode, and it would be exceedingly strange if we just went 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, like, where's the first 2 episodes? Well, we watched the movie. Well, I don't want to watch a reaction to the movie. I want to watch a reaction to the episodes. So just know that we're, much like Macross Delta, going to get doubled downed on the first
It
episode.
was like 3 episodes worth because it was 0.75 and then another, and then episode 1.
Actually, it was like 0.85. It was a weird thing, but we only watched 2 of them. We watched the Prefetch edition, which was the preview, which not even a preview because it was only missing like 5 minutes, and then the I can't remember what the actual. We didn't watch the OG episode. We watched the Prefetch edition and then the one with bonus stuff at the very end. But yeah, anyway, that's what we're wandering into here. Technically, we're going to have notes here at the front end about the last episode of Gaiden, which was Dishonor Part 4. And of course, as always, we have the board and we have a comment as well. So, as usual, let's start off with the board, where I have a board changelog, where I turned the white line connecting Christopher to Kirches to red. I connected Hoffman to Christopher with a red line. I connected Kirches to Johanna with a white line. And I changed the line from Kieserling to Johanna to white, added a red arrow to it, and then marked Johanna as dead.
Because he shot her.
Yeah, but I don't think it was a enemies thing. So that's why I turned the line white instead of the whole line red. And obviously, as you had just so pointedly indicated, he shot her, so I have to at least put a red arrow there so it's represented who killed who. I think I've always stated that white represents complicated as relationship status, and I don't think anyone would be confused as to why I would put down Kieserling's relationship to Johanna as complicated.
Volatile Hoffman. So, time to go to the notes. Dishonor, Part 4. I wonder why the Basils were in different rooms. Turns out that in the rush to arrive, they had to accept that the hotel didn't have room for them both. A contrivance, to be sure, but then again, it would allow for the Admiral to conduct his business without having to deal with his wife.
I mean, it didn't even have to be a contrivance. I was making the reference during the episode before. I mean, I guess during it, I didn't even hear the element of that thing. I did hear it in the rewatch, but I was saying that they're an older couple, no different than sleeping in the same room with 2 separate beds.
But we don't see any indication that that's how it happens here.
No. I mean, obviously it's not, because as you just covered, that's the thing that gets said about them arriving early and in a rush. I'm just saying that as an older couple, of which they are, they've got to be over 60. Not too. I mean, my grandparents did that watching TV from back in the day. That's Lucy and Ricky from I Love Lucy. They did that. Dick Van Dyke and Mary, I want to say her name is. Just a thing with older couples, it seems.
I think it was more of a TV thing.
Although, ironically, you hear about retirement homes and how they won't stop fucking, so who the hell knows?
Yeah.
Although, I guess, although they might not stop fucking, they don't sleep in the same bed. They can't. They'd get caught. Let's see here. As always, the situations Kircheiss and Reinhardt encounter tend to be mirrors to their own situations. Sometimes they are reminders of why they are trying to achieve what they will. Others are warnings to what might happen if they are not careful. Kieserling is clearly Kircheiss's analog here, a cautionary tale against focusing too much on distant love and protection of it at all costs, or at the cost of all else. Kieserling sacrificed not only his honor and dignity, but also the futures of the men he commanded for the love of a woman who never loved him back. Oddly, this arc could have, or could be seen to have, the same message as the Duelist arc, as the activity in that one was born from the actions of protecting Anna Rose's friends, just because they were her friends. Reinhardt could have died, seeking to achieve a goal that had nothing to do with his greater ambition. Now Kircheiss is being reminded of this again, and yet again, through the actions of another man.
I mean, yeah. But then again, it had not been there in the hotel to begin with, then Kieserling would have been dead or seriously injured, and,
As
that
per
would
my
also would have kicked it.
conspiracy
Yeah.
from last time. About who's
Okay,
responsible for this. No one would expect Kieserling to kick that guy's ass.
So yeah, I mean, literally the show has him like look out and see the face of Anna Rose, and like, oh yeah, okay, this is and he literally says, yeah, this is a parallel to my situation. So it's not like it's being subtle about it. She, by she I mean Johanna, knew that what was happening, dropped a dime on her husband, but now doesn't want to testify. Why would she think of a notorious drug dealer that led to the deaths of thousands of men in battle would simply repent because he was being investigated? I don't like this lady.
Of course you don't.
I
mean, she's fine. I think she's the perfect companion.
Huh?
Sorry. If you were going to do our normal back and forth, I feel like you would hit me up with some joke about liking 60-year-old white women, but I mean...
No, I just didn't catch the last thing, the perfect command. Right?
No, I said she's the perfect companion.
Companion.
One, she's supremely loyal, like ride or die to the end, but she also recognizes your flaws and tries to do something about them. Like, she doesn't... You said she dropped a dime on him. She didn't say anything, really. She put the threat out there that, oh, someone's coming, and made him aware of it. So, if he was going to do the right thing, she set up the opportunity for him to do the right thing. However, she didn't narc on him completely, so he always had a chance to get away because she wouldn't betray him. It's literally exactly what you would want in, like, the right-hand man of a drug empire or something.
Yeah, that doesn't make for a good person, though.
I think it does. Well, it's the same argument that she's basically having about it doesn't matter who loves me, it matters who I love. You are judging her as a person, not a companion. I'm saying that if I wanted... Because, that's her argument, too, remember? She says it doesn't matter how bad or negative a person is. What matters is how you feel. This is an emotional-based argument, not a morality-based argument or a logic-based argument.
Failed on 2 out of 3, so...
To you. Because, again, I think when you're in the state of emotions, you're not judging the other two. You're like, oh, out of these 3 categories. And I'm saying, well, there's only 1 category. You are including 2 other categories because you don't feel the other category. I'm saying that if I was to have a love interest, this is the kind of person I would want. It goes into the same argument that we had back in Fate Zero, where I'm like, he shouldn't have killed his dad. Loyalty to family should trump everything else. And in this case, this is loyalty to your loved ones. And I guess maybe you're too separate from the media to have that feeling that you're looking at it objectively, rather than I'm trying to feel it from the emotionality, which is the weird aspect, because that's usually my separation, is that I don't feel the
I can
social
understand
connections.
That she feels something about her husband, But at some point, if you see this is going on wrong and you're willing to take this step, just go all the way.
No, that's what I'm saying, is
one.
that this step keeps it internal. She has put the threat out there, but kept it vague enough that nothing would ever blow back on him, just to instigate him actually doing the right thing. She can't force him to, she doesn't want to change him, but she wants to whatever she wants to do, right? She's still ride or die for him, but she recognizes this flaw and tries to correct it to the best of her ability without actually putting him in danger. Which is, again, perfect companion.
But that just reduces you to a object, not a person with free will.
No, it literally entirely depends on his free will.
I don't know, I'm talking about hers.
No, because she also is the instigator of all this, so if she had no free will, she wouldn't have the ability to do this. I mean, not for nothing, the entirety of the arc depends on her choices.
Still don't like her, though.
If she didn't have free will, she wouldn't be able to make those choices.
She chose poor.
I mean, that is...
I'm not saying that she... I'm not saying that she had to go...
Wait. That's certainly an argument, is what I'm trying to get at here. You say she chose poorly. I don't know that her life would have been better with Kieserling.
I'm not saying that she had to choose Kieserling. At no moment did I mention that.
Well, of the two options that we know exist, that's what I'm saying, is we don't know how many other suitors were out there. I guess none could have been a choice, but I don't know that her life would have been suitably better with none either. The element is that she chose the guy who was willing to do the things to get her a better life. Like, I mean, obviously it's not the goal, but it is on the ride, essentially. Kieserling, the simp who would sacrifice everything.
Yeah, but she had just like she had every reason to say, I don't want to marry you because I don't feel that way. And he had to respect that because that's her choice. She also could have had the choice like, listen, this guy is just a bad guy and I'm seeing what's happening. I should just...
But she loves him. That's the point. Did you ever watch Casino? This is Casino without the end part.
At some point, you just gotta, you're just hurting yourself.
But she's not, though. The element is that she's not hurting herself. She's not addicted to the drug. She's not adversely affected by what he's doing. She is just like, she's getting all the benefits without any of the negatives. Except for, obviously, when she gets shot. But that is of her own doing, in fact.
That was my note, right?
I don't remember. I will read my next note because I have more than you, so... The bluff was pretty dumb. All Christopher said was, "That's impossible." Indignation at being accused of a crime you are innocent of is not proof that you committed the crime. Christopher could have easily played up his innocence without the comment implying any sort of guilt. Additionally, nothing Kirche says actually ties Christopher to the crime, especially if you lean into what I've said. Christopher says it's impossible. Kirche says there's nothing directly connecting him to the mercenary. Stop talking, and there's literally nothing to arrest him on. Well, from this conversation anyways, if he had the bug on him when he was talking to Johanna, then his wife has already fingered him for the crimes. Might be hearsay, but it might be probable cause to bring him in to question him further. In which case, then you pulled a tricksy conversational maneuvering.
I mean, it could have happened. The fact that it seems like the detective knows what it was said inside, right? Even though
we know when he goes to Christopher, he has the bug on him. We don't know if he had the bug on him when he was talking to Johanna. My point is more so that Christopher says, "That's impossible," and Kirchhoff is like, "Haha, got you." No, he was indignant that you accused him. That does not make him guilty, or is even
but he
a
keeps
confession.
Talking afterwards.
No, I know, Lessons. That was my whole note. You might have listened to the paragraph that I told you.
Oh.
I said that that's not proof that you committed a crime. I even said, stop talking. Because he says there's nothing connecting you to that mercenary. And that's when Christopher fucks up and just, "Oh, you got me." Stop talking. When he says there's nothing connecting you to the mercenary, that's literally proof that he has no evidence against you.
Well, my next note continues that aspect of things. Basil turned out to be every bit as arrogant as expected. Yes, a good lawyer could have thrown out that confession, but that happens on the legal system. But that depends on the legal system on the empire, how it applies to people like Basil. And it seems that clearly it's a two-tier or multi-tier legal system, so it doesn't apply the same way to nobles as it does to everyone
Ministry
else.
of Military Affairs versus Ministry of Home something. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. Physical evidence will make the case stronger for the prosecution. People watching police drama believe that once the accused confesses, it's all over. But at least in the U.S., that is hardly the case. Confessions can be useful, especially to convince the accused to cop a plea, but rarely stand up in court on their own. So I'm making a distinction between my knowledge of how confessions work and how they do versus how it would be in the fiction of, Legends of Galactic Heroes. But,
if I could, then I just want to tack on one of my own notes about law that I have on here, and just dress them together. Surprisingly, it seems the Empire has laws regarding unlawful recording of a conversation you didn't consent to have recorded. In a state with thought police, I wouldn't have imagined such freedoms existed. I mean, unless it's due to the fact that he's a count and the freedom afforded to him is one of noble standing. I mean, he claims that it's due to being a retired admiral, but the mutiny arc from before goes some ways towards explaining that the military rank does not trump noble standing.
I mean, that's true. I mean, then again, like I said, there's an other aspect of enforcement as well, right? The law might be in the books, but if you have a essentially multi-tiered legal system, some people, right, get more enforcers, can get to use as an affirmative defense, while others don't. Like the old lady that took down the pictures, and the neighbor was like leering on the window, like, "Oh, I got her, right? I hate her, right?" For her, she's just a regular citizen. She's like, "Oh, people shouldn't be leering into, privacy protections against leaning through windows." It's like, yeah, but you committed he caught you doing a capital offense of, disrespecting the visage of the Kaiser, right? Or whatever it is that they would charge her for, like treason or whatever. And it's like, but it doesn't matter. You don't have the power. But if it's like you said, if it's a noble, it's like, well, in your case, I suppose. We even said that nobles can openly criticize the Kaiser, and they're like, yeah.
It also seems like Hoffman is operating in a gray territory. Yeah. In that it seems like he's operating on probable cause to investigate the crime without actual evidence, with the hope that he will accrue the evidence to prove the crime before it gets to, say, the Ministry of the Home Affairs.
Yeah, he's building up a case against this guy. That's how it works.
No, I'm saying that he's building up the case off of probable cause without the necessary... It seems like there is a sequence of events that should be happening here that has not happened yet, but Hoffman is taking advantage of the situation, the chaos of the situation in front of him, to be able to do the things that he should otherwise require legal authority to do.
Probable cause, if they're using the same standard as you would see in the United States, they're pretty low standards. There's more standards. There's the probable cause.
No, I'm saying, like, imagine he has essentially put a bug on Kerchase, knowing that Kerchase was going to instigate a fight, without any sounds coming from the room, because, these things, we have already established these places are airtight, given the fact of the whole CO2 thing, so they shouldn't have heard anything outside. But since he bugged him, I now have probable cause to enter the room knowing a fight is happening. So now, if I see any evidence within my eye line, I can investigate. Yes. That's what I'm saying. He has established a way for him to get in on this.
Cops do that all the time, yeah.
That's not what I'm getting into. We seem to try to avoid real-world shit, even though it happens in our conversations all the time. I'm just saying that Hoffman is playing it pretty dirty.
Not really.
I think your opinion based on this, that that Christopher is guilty, but imagine if Hoffman was framing him for something, and this same methodology was being used. The same methodology is being used against him. Instead of Johanna trying to burn a suitcase full of evidence, what if Hoffman was planting a suitcase full of evidence?
Well, that would planting it would be the dirty part, but doing this,
I
would
mean,
be
he
different.
put a bug on a guy so that he could hear an incident happening, so that he could then come in and, like he said, if you use the same methodology on the opposite end, then it's just as problematic. The only reason it's good here is because we know the guy is guilty.
No. It would work because it wouldn't be problematic. Because let me put it this way:
say your thing.
It's not planting evidence.
But listen,
now,
say your thing, and then we're gonna move on. I do not want to get into a whole thing about law, so just say what you're gonna say, and then move on to your next.
Let's say that example would be that they do that to Kirchheis and Reinhard, right? They plant the bug on a third person who comes in, and they're discussing whatever they're doing. It's like, aha, we have probable cause to search your belongings, and they do. Now, if neither of them have actual evidence that this has happened, and this is, by the way, also a one-time thing. It's very important because there's a distinction between happening once and being constantly happening, which is a different set of things. Then it's like, okay, that was unfortunate. They may go, I'm going to get you next time. It's like, oh, this jackass is just, fishing for evidence that it doesn't exist. Fine. Legally speaking, and even morally speaking, you could argue that from the point of view of the investigator, they're investigating, threats to the empire, and they think that he is a threat to the empire, so they're investigating him. He may suffer reputational damage and all that, but at the end of the day, he's doing his job. Now, if he were to go in, like you said, plant evidence, it's like, oh, this guy doesn't care about the process, doesn't care about the legal tools he has available. He's just using the opportunity to F people up because he wants a given result. He's not going for the evidence. Otherwise, the whole conversation about, hey, we might be able to search your papers, and we're like, oh, and then he calls his wife and blah, blah, and does all the thing, the bluff. That shouldn't have worked, actually, but still. That would have been wrong if he went like, oh, by the way, we're going to go to your wife's room and plant the evidence there. Oh, hey, look, we found evidence. There's cutoffs to all this stuff. Even if we happen to like or dislike the people at the end of it. It's like police dramas. The police do all this all the time, but the moment it happens to the police, it's like, oh no, they're trying to entrap me. I'm a good cop. It's like, dude, you do this all the time. But when it comes to you, because we know you're the hero, we're supposed to assume that, clearly it's entrapment, right? As opposed to, of course, eventually the villains do a thing that is clearly entrapment or planting of evidence or something like that. Then, of course, it's like, that we have clear evidence, at least the audience anyway. And the cutoff I said was that if Hoffman was continuously doing this to Basil, whether Basil was guilty or not, it would be harassment. And that would also cross another line as well, right? A one-time use, as annoying and possibly exposes you to reputational damage, which is very important in the Empire, especially for nobles as well as military officers, it's a negative outcome. But unless you can prove that this is harassment, constant harassment, or it leads to another illegal action because of it, then it's just the way it is. We might not like it, but that's the way it is. Next one is, although the fact that Basil literally tried to have the evidence against him destroyed in front of witnesses, no less, despite his wording, would actually work against him, not for him. He's trying to be clever. It's like, well, I didn't say this exactly. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what you just did.
I mean, still, though, it's an assumption. You're assuming it's evidence.
He wouldn't need to say, destroy the thing in that thing if, get rid of it if
Right. But the vagary of it's evidence against him, you still don't have the evidence, though. The actual breadcrumb trail of his crimes or whatever. You would still be like, there's evidence against him.
It would be evidence to obstruction of justice if that's the thing that exists in the Empire.
I have a note about that scene, obviously. I assume you do too, but I'm just saying that he could say, there's a suitcase full of evidence of my crimes. All he's admitted to is that there is a crime. He could later claim, yeah, I been stealing towels from the bathroom. Now, all he said is that he committed a crime. This is evidence of it. He doesn't say what the crime is. He doesn't say what the evidence is. If the evidence is destroyed, you don't have anything. All you know is that a crime was committed and that there was evidence. It could actually
lead into a lesser charge of conspiracy. I'm
just saying that what he says is not a good lawyer could spin this.
Yeah, but it's not. It could
like
could
literally
use both ways.
Literally, what he's done is ruined any discovery because there is not going to be anything to discover.
But like I'm saying, the actual act of it can be used against him.
No, the act of it is a separate crime.
He's saying it, and because that act was done on his say-so, yeah, it could actually be used against him. He would probably face a lesser. I'm not arguing that it could be used against him, as you keep pushing out there. I'm arguing that it is unrelated to the investigation. He is hindering the investigation, which is a separate crime, and arguably one far less than intoxicating an entire military. Let's see here. Pigs exist to be eaten by humans. They don't live to eat humans. I think Christopher, for all of his dirty dealings, hasn't read up much on the nastier parts of human history. Or pigs.
Yeah. Well, that's my point. He's wrong. Pigs do eat people. Famously, it's a way to hide the body.
My final note then. Kesselring did what I say Kesselring, which is a name of a real person. Different context. Well, not that different, I suppose. Kieserling did what his society expected of him. I'm not excusing it, but he had no choice, considering how harsh the Empire deals with rule breakers and criminals. Now, how did he know that about her having the evidence in the first place? That is not explained, and is a bit of a plot hole.
I'm sorry, say that sentence again.
Now, how did he know about her having the evidence in the first place? That is not explained, and is a bit of a plot hole.
I didn't think about that. Obviously, I focused on the fact that he shot her in the back more so than the element of why is he here. But then again, I guess he could just be following around Kirchhoff, just off around some corner like, oh, what's he doing now? Because he knows what's going on.
Yeah, but the thing is that he supposedly left two guards, left two guards on his door so that he
but they say to make sure nobody gets into his room, not that he doesn't leave his room. Because I think if you were doing that, he should have like, hey, we're keeping you under guard, don't leave. Instead, it's just like two guards. So when Kieserling leaves his room, there's going to be two guards unexplained. And if they're getting like the Monty Python, right? Well, I don't know. They just say make sure.
They literally
say they get the Monty Python. Make sure they don't say make sure they don't leave. They get the operational order to make sure nobody comes in. So they're not specifically told to guard him.
Yeah.
But hey, we don't know. Legitimately, he could shoot her in the back, and around right just behind him is two guys just watching. Technically, we weren't told to make sure he didn't assault people.
Oh, shoot to kill. Assault is...
Well, you know what? Here, I'm going to read my final note. I have more notes, but my final note is on this scene. At the end of the episode, they act like Kieserling cleared his name by securing the evidence to point the finger at Christopher, when in reality, he just became a murderer. He not only shot a defenseless person in the back, he did so to protect the destruction of evidence. In no world would that befit the standard of reasonable force. There is no justification for the amount of force used. Hoffman is his own sort of corrupt, though, as he says the bloodshed involved will be kept to personal records, meaning Kieserling will just get away with it.
Well,
I did a whole search. I did a whole search on just to double check to make sure you're not allowed to shoot somebody to protect evidence. Protecting human lives is more important than evidence.
That depends on how the Empire sees it, and the Empire's...
I'm working on real world on this one. I know I just did a whole thing about not going into real world law and shit like that, but I'm just saying I double checked on this shit. You're not allowed to shoot somebody. Yeah, you're not allowed to kill somebody to protect evidence. So, as I'm saying, Kieserling, now a murderer. Unfortunately, he's going to get away with it, though, because Hoffman says at the very end as well. Well, you're out of notes, right? But even the prince climbed to his present glory by making soldiers die in the war, right? Christopher mentions someone I don't think we've met before. In all of Gaiden, I don't think we've heard anyone reference any prince before. I mean, we have a family line that connects to the Kaiser, but that's a daughter, and the man she married, and their daughter. No mention of a prince.
I think you could be referring to the original Kaiser.
Again, that would be the first time it's ever been mentioned.
Yeah,
and
I think that's
what's
what
his name? Golden Bomb was never mentioned as a prince before.
Could be a Well, I could be.
Also, that wouldn't make sense because of the Galactic Federation. Why would it have a prince?
I mean, you could already have it. The Federation could have had some kind of nobility. It doesn't necessarily means, I mean, it could have been constitutional monarchy for all we know. We don't know much about the Federation.
This isn't I'm staring out thinking hard about something. This is me just waiting for you to see if you had a point you were going to get to, other than we don't know anything. Because we don't know anything is the point of my note. It's just this is the first time we've heard of a prince. Also, a weird title.
Not really.
Would the Kaiser have a prince?
Sure. Well, the Kaiser starts for Caesar, so Caesar would. If we're talking about,
I never heard of the Prince of Rome. So that's what I'm saying. Is it seems like if there, I'm not saying that the position wouldn't exist. I'm saying wouldn't it have a different name?
No, because prince comes from princeps, which is it's a complicated history of.
Look, all I'm saying is that if you are, say, in charge of a border territory at the edge of the empire, you might not be called a marquis. You might have a different name. So, is prince just the one word that transcends all different types of government or hierarchical lines? That's what I'm saying. Would it not have a different name?
You could be, in German, would be a Margrave, which is similar to Marquis, or Viscount as well.
Except I'm not arguing that a prince couldn't exist. I'm just saying that it seems to me that in the Empire, we wouldn't call them a prince. Here's the Kaiser and his son, the prince. Well, that doesn't seem right.
Margrave was originally a medieval title for the military commander assigned for maintaining the defenses of one of the border provinces of the Holy Roman Empire or a kingdom.
See, I thought you were working with me here, but you focused on the Marquis thing instead.
Yeah. It could be any title, but then again, it could, heir apparent. I don't know if there are other titles.
I'm just saying they use the word prince, and that seems odd to me. Say what you will about Christopher, we've seen Kerchase fight many times in the past. He's better than Reinhardt in every margin. And this man, likely 3 times his senior, got the upper hand on him, disarmed him, and had him dead to rights. Had he wanted, Kerchase's story would have ended here before the show ever began.
Yeah, that seems so dumb. Because, first of all, Kishash shouldn't have close a distance to him for him to be able to throw the drink at his face. Second, he shouldn't be able to dodge that drink to his face, right? I mean, this is a guy who took on 5 guys in 0G, while the guys had knives and had backpacks designed to propel them to 0G.
See, this is where you're going. You're keeping your head in the arc. I was thinking back to when he was doing boarding actions and shit. Or back in Silver Valley, where he's in the freezing cold shooting people. I think the point is that Christopher is such a multi-dimensional fighter, is that he saw Kerchase pulling for the gun, and he emotionally manipulated him into making mistakes. He got him angry and riled up, which caused him to close the distance and bring fists out instead of keeping his hand on the gun. Yeah. I'm not armed. Look at both of my hands before I drink alcohol in the eyes. It's like Christopher, to his benefit, understands his weaknesses and plays them up. It doesn't matter if you are the better fighter in the room, if you can be manipulated into losing your advantage.
Well,
be like water, my friends. The quote everyone knows from Bruce Lee. Surprisingly, it seems I already did that one. That's the recording laws. Okay, I only have one note left then. I know it's the wrong time to focus on this in the scene, but everyone that pulled a gun had a different model of gun on them. That's some form of world building right there. If they wanted to, they could have just copied the same gun model across everyone present and made it a common standard issue. Instead, everyone had a different gun. A conscious choice that they made when animating every frame.
I didn't see that. You saying that the cops behind them also had different guns?
I'm not paying attention to them. I'm talking about main characters. So Chase is holding Hoffman's gun, if you recall, that he got from him in an earlier episode. Christopher has a different gun. Kaiserling, Kaiserling has a completely different gun as well. Technically, then the cops also have their guns. Everyone who has an individual gun has an individual gun. They could have all just had the same guns that the cops had. Animate the same gun multiple times or one time. They chose to separately animate a bunch of and draw a bunch of different guns, which I'm saying is a choice.
Basil's looked like they was gold plated. It was at least yellow, if not gold plated. So it might be something to the fact that these are personalized firearms. You have people who have money, they buy their own guns and stuff like that.
And
like
technically, as I said before, the gun Chase has the gun Hoffman had, which is again different from all the standard issued guns that everyone else seems to have. So I'm saying that everyone had their own gun. All right, so as mentioned, we have a comment. Canaris4 from the Patreon from the episode Dishonor Part 4. If you saw this in release order, Part 1 of Dishonor is the first time you ever hear of Mikkelsen, unless I'm forgetting something. It's interesting how his assassination is regarded as being a tragedy for the Empire, as it shows that, despite his death, the Empire remained unaware that he was a traitor. Since Mikkelsen's killer was unknown, that also means his motives were unknown, since you can't explain your own motives for doing so without ratting yourself out, and that runs the risk of getting court-martialed.
Although I don't remember, did we see Mikkelsen's murder ourselves?
We saw the after effects in which we saw a dead body.
So the comment, like I said, I barely remember Mikkelsen, so aside from the fact I mentioned it here, so yeah.
Anyway, my response to the comment, now that I'm here, is the fact of why would you watch this in release order? It even refers to itself in timeline, chronological order. So yeah, technically it'd be the first arc of Season 2 is where you first heard of Mikkelsen, but that is also the earliest thing in chronological order. And also, you know who he is at that point because that's the covering. God, I can't remember the other guy's name. I believe Mikkelsen is the one who stays in the Empire, and he heads up the spy network there.
Yeah.
And then the other guy is the one who,
the one that defects.
Couldn't think of the word defect for some reason. The other one defects and then wants to defect back because again, the Alliance fucking sucks.
According to not even the narrator, who was the captain that was a prisoner who then died in the Alliance, so he couldn't go back. So that's his interpretation of events. Yeah, Christoph. So,
well, you say it's his interpretation of events. Not for nothing, he also helps people get back to the Empire. But yeah, the idea that this guy comes from the Empire, defects to the Alliance, has a pretty cushy position inside the Alliance's upper echelons, still thinks the Alliance fucking sucks, and wants to go back to the Empire.
Again, I think the problem with that is unreliable narrator aspect.
Why? Literally a bunch of Yang's stuff comes from this guy who Yang believes to be reliable.
True, but that specifically, how would he know that he was in prison all this time, other than he gathered all this information somehow, which is another plot hole of the situation.
I don't think that's a plot hole. He's got the communication. That's why he's considered the best guy, or not the best guy. He's in charge of a bunch of stuff here at the prison. He is your God, I can't remember anyone's names. He's your Red from Shawshank.
I mean, he's connected, I suppose, but still.
Yeah. Plus, everybody that he got sent back to the Empire. Assumedly, he has the ability to contact people. He sent out all those letters to those grieving families. And not for nothing, he's super old. It is his generation of information.
Yeah.
Or was super
but still
old, past tense.
Getting that kind of info of how people think. Because there's one thing, oh, hey, this
no. See,
that.
You're putting it into the emotional realm of what was he thinking, what did he feel? No. He is stating that he wanted to defect. He is saying he knows what the guy wanted to do, implying that he put that information out there. He's not saying, and that's when he thought. That would be a different thing. That would be an argumentative point, because how would you know, right? But he's stating he has expressed the desire to want to go back.
But never did.
Right, well, I mean, the point remains, though, is that if you say you moved to, say, Florida, and then expressed to me, God, I wish I could go back to not doxing you. Although I think we've said this 100 times, so I don't know if it's even doxing you anymore, but unaware of previous statements, you express the desire to go back to where you used to live, that wouldn't be a contestable statement if I then told somebody he really wants to go back home.
How would you know that I want to go back home? That's the part that...
That's what I'm saying, is if you told somebody.
Yeah, but his guy is such a secret position that,
No, remember at one point he retired for a bit. And I believe that's in the area that we get that. It's after he gets all the information to the higher ups in the Alliance, but before he gets that secret room in the back place of the Alliance command.
Before we get started, make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut, as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
In production studio that made Macross, the Murder, I think. We've seen this before.
Also a number of kaleidoscopes.
Yeah.
Thank God one of us can read this.
Which is not me.
486 October.
Oh, remember that most of the fighting happens in fall and winter of every year. That's campaign season, apparently.
Well, actually, wait a second. Kurt Chase was on vacation in November of 486. We just went backwards.
Brunhilde.
Yeah, this is standing in opposition to what we already know. We saw him in the last arc, or the arc before last.
銀河帝国開闢以来の名家ではないか。今では直系が絶えたとはいえ、その名跡を継ぐにふさわしい貴族はあまたおる。それをあのような成り上がり者に下しなさるとは。されど皇帝陛下のご上でござる。陛下にも困ったものよ。爵位も持たぬ貧乏貴族の小娘に入れ上げ、グリューネワルト伯爵夫人の称号を下されたばかりか。今度はその弟まで伯爵に叙するとは。
Oh, I guess he is a prince.
Well, there we go. Also, oddly, I guess you're a couple seconds ahead of me.
Oh.
Because the prince line only just came up and you're already saying, oh, I guess he is the prince. Well, cool. Character I've never heard of before. Well, these two we only saw in passing.
Yeah. His golden wings.
I think we only said because of one movie.
Yeah.
じゃがあの御人は皇帝陛下の娘婿。提出を自分らの所有物のごとく考えておるのじゃろうよ。しかし今回はあの方のおっしゃることにも。
Okay, so he's the prince by marriage.
あの小僧のことか。
So it's probably the guy we know. Just don't recognize him because it's been forever.
あの小僧もまんざらそれだけでもないようじゃ。今回宇宙艦隊司令長官もあやつの武勲を認めておる。ミュッケンベルガー元帥が皇帝陛下をはばかってのことでございましょう。そうかもしれぬが、これ以上宮中に個別の勢力が増えるのは好ましくはないな。悪しき目であれば早めに摘み取っておき。
Another assassination attempt.
No, I mean, I don't think he has to. He might be able to direct operations as such just to put him in a bad place at a bad time. And we haven't seen what's her name in forever. God.
Yeah, isn't that her? Yeah. Yeah, there she is.
No, that's the one I like. I'm talking about the one who was trying to assassinate him to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I thought we weren't supposed to see her for like 20 years or something. That's since we still remember the car scene with the other girl. It was like, oh, in 5 years. I think it's 5 years.
No, I think it was supposed to be the other girl.
No, they were saying that she was doing her own very important shit off in the background. We wouldn't see her for like 5 more years.
And he doesn't call Kirchheis. He goes in by first name.
Well, more like a pet name. So his first name
is supposed to be. Wait a minute. Is it supposed to be Odin or is it supposed to be the fortress?
I would guess Odin. Because we don't see the weird sky thing that we sometimes get with Iserlon, because, you know, the liquid metal sky.
Would you be allowed? I guess you'll be allowed to talk to her because before that you had to.
It's always in my head that if everyone wanted to hail Kirches, they might say,
"Yes." Say what?
They might say what? Well, what's his nickname? If Grunhilde, if Anna Rose wanted to hail Sieg. I guess he's coming back from the 4th Battle of Tiamat. Because that was in June.
Yeah. Oh, he has different colored eyes.
It's just the element that, again, the last thing was the Dishonor, and that was in November, and this is October. The only thing before this was in June, the 4th Battle of Tiamat.
Meanwhile, the Alliance. I guess they're doing the same thing. They're both coming back from that battle. Is that a space fortress too? I guess.
Or they just have a bunch of ringed cities on the moon.
I like the shuttle design. Color, not so much, but then
everything about comparatively, everything looks better than anything Xeon has ever made in Gundam, so. Funny also just to regard everything that's happening here. I've got like a timeline of events off to my side, my self-created timeline. The clone army is complete.
Oh yeah, his best friend and his wife.
Alex and his wife.
Yeah.
It looks like those dudes' faces melted.
His Excellency?
すまん。だけど今回も活躍したそうじゃないか。次は少々閣下だろ。同期の出世頭だからな。今回は昇進はないよ。
It's been a long time since we've seen him advance.
やれやれ後輩にも追い抜かれるか
いや俺なんてラップ先輩こそ病気療養がなければ今頃はい
やダメダメヤンのようにはいかないさ
ところでジェシカが来てたみたいだけど
あ外で待ってる顔を合わせる前にちょっとお前さんと二人で話したいこと
Yeah, I got it wrong. That wasn't Alex and his wife. That was Jessica and...
Yeah, that was the friend from high school.
No, I was
From-
thinking
from-
back to when they were having their conversations, I think at the end of the correspondence arc,
なんだい話
where we met Alex's wife at dinner.
まあ座らないかなあヤン俺たち知り合って何年になるかな
12年かな
それでなそろそろ結論を出したいと思ってお前さんが帰ってくるのを待ってたんだ
結論
Propose to Jessica?
俺
Ah, there we go.
結婚を申し込もうと思う
Yeah, I thought they were already married.
No, we just had this whole arc thing about who's going to wind up with her since
いいかな
school.
なんだい
変かな
何が
いやお前さんに聞くのがさ
いいんじゃないか
いいか本当に
ああ幸せにしろよ
まだ
Legend of Galactic Heroes bros before hoes scene.
するかな
するさどうしたしっかりしろよ
Well, I don't think he's going to survive.
Yeah.
This might as
Oh,
well
he's
said
gonna
I'm
get
5
married.
days away from retirement. And that was the punch to the heart that eventually killed him.
Oh, do it.
Quarantine? The board above them said quarantine, pointing in the direction they just came from.
Well, maybe when they get off ship, they have to go through, decontamination and all of that.
With no audio and from a distance, I would think he was like telling her a family member died or something.
Yeah.
You know, she like left you behind at school for him, so why is it like...
Because I think she knows how he feels about her, and they're best friends. So it's like, are you good with this? It's not gonna be a problem. It's like, sure,
I mean,
don't
it
worry
just
about
seems
it, babe.
weird to like look for his approval. It's your
Or
life.
maybe she was always hoping that he would buck up the courage to
No,
do the
remember
right thing.
he fucked up. They got
Yeah.
together because he was bad at this. So it wasn't a courage thing. He just wasn't good.
He wasn't good at dancing with her. That was he had 2 left feet.
Certainly a
So they're
choice to
drinking
have
a
a
little-
good portion of the beginning of your movie not have any audio.
Huh?
Or I guess dialogue, rather. Shit, we're making a movie, but we can't get the voice actors in for this part. What do we do? Don't worry, guys. I spent a year at college. I'm artsy-fartsy enough to get this fast.
Yeah.
What about a threesome? Are you down? I've been drinking. I can do it. All
Is she
right.
gonna invite him to dance? I think that's what he's gonna do. Like, I'm a horrible dancer, you know that, right?
See, in silence, all we get is our opportunities to dub our own lines.
Yeah.
Go, 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 go.
Oh, man, he got a little better.
I don't know when.
One fine.
I guess all that time
No,
leaning
apparently,
against walls.
apparently not. Apparently not. Let her lead then. Yeah. Dude, you keep stepping on it. You get more and more nervous.
I know he's nervous. He's just not good at it.
Oh. She was in love with him all this time, in spite of the fact that he stepped on
I
her.
don't know,
Like,
man. She spent most of her time with him, not him. As choice. Well, right, that's right. Jean-Robert Lapp.
Oh, yeah, we have Otto.
ジェシカ、送ってやってくれるかい？
Yeah, I guess it would have to be a rule about not leaving unattended drunk people in your taxi. They would never get out.
Probably also because Yang kept his distance as well. It's like, oh, you chose him. I'm going to keep my
So
distance.
I wanted that to be Johnny Cab from Total Recall. Just the disembodied head thing in the top, spinning around.
Beers and bourbon. Oh, that's a good place to go. You want to get drunk? That's a good place to go. Damn, dude.
Yeah, I know you're taking the scene seriously, but for me, I'm getting that cabin in the woods vibe. Suddenly hit Overture to a New War right there in that scene.
They really are using that classical.
They always
music.
have.
Yeah, but particularly in this one.
When I'm looking at the Gynopedia to see which characters were in which episode for the board-related matters, it also lists the classical music used in every episode.
事実だから仕方ないだろう。だいたい広すぎるのだこの宮殿は。そこに復古主義で馬車を使わせるなど不合理も甚だしい。
Well, I'm glad he addressed it, because I was going to make a joke about the Kaiser actually secretly coming from a horse-raising family, and that's why everybody uses horses.
分かったようなことを言うじゃないか。ええ、わかります。私も同じ気持ちですから。こいつ。
Also, it means that you land at the port in a super advanced spaceship and then spend the next 3 days crossing the continent to get to the place you need to go.
What the hell is he doing?
やれやれ。帝国軍大将ともあろう方が芝生で逆
Oh,
らい
he's
ま
what,
すか。
19?
重力に逆らうのはいい気持ちだぞ。
No, I think he's 22.
Oh.
For
No, he's not.
A couple of years have passed, but way back when it was what? Yang was like 16 and he was 22?
No, he said that he was going to turn 20. But he's 19 right now.
Oh, let's let it go. We'll figure it out in the notes for the first episode. So I can't remember if I'm thinking of this or a different show that we watched.
Meanwhile, in the ultra-modern sci-fi house where Yang lives.
It's not what I thought was happening. I thought there was like a spy group that was sending Morse code messages to somebody. That's Alex.
了解しました。
住所起きてください。朝食ができてますよ。
Didn't he have a personal man servant that was older though?
No, this is somebody that we've addressed before that I was confused about them addressing. Problem is, I know who this is, but I don't remember if you know who this is.
Well, he got shown in Gaiden a little bit, you know.
Right, but I don't know if they
calm.
explained who it is.
No, they didn't explain.
But so saying, I know who it is, but I know that from Dainu Thesis, so I can't, like...
前線から帰ったばかりだから休んだって誰も文句は言わないよ。
わかりました。だけどキャゼルヌ少将が連絡くださいって伝えましたよ。
はいはい。
Oh, he has a cat too? I didn't know he had a cat.
Well, that's different.
焼け酒かな?
Unless Julian has a cat.
Yeah, everybody knows that he's what happened. Well, that's a big cake. Damn. A German chocolate, I suppose.
It's not really. It looks big when she's cutting it, but the slices that she puts on the other plates are pretty small, so...
ご安心ください、アンネローゼ様。これまでの例から見て、ラインハルト様が戦場に出られることはしばらくないでしょう。
Meanwhile, half an hour of episode left, an hour of episode to go. That's what I said. He could put him into a dangerous position.
No, it's Raya Gambit.
そうでなければ門閥貴族の諸侯を黙らせることができん。しかしその実力がありますかな。ないならないで、戦士であれば陛下もお諦めになるであろう。また実力があるならそれを利用する。
The no-win scenario. Die or run away. I'm slightly confused. Because I think that's a guy we've seen before, but I don't think that's Muckenberger.
Yeah, he's a Supreme Commander.
That's not
No,
Muckenberger.
that's a Supreme Commander.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
That's a guy we've seen before. Let's stop
He's
correcting
over
me.
Muckenberger.
Let's stop fucking correcting me. We're saying the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
You're saying it's Supreme Commander. Yeah, that falls into the line of guy we've seen before. I like anybody who didn't care about Gaiden and came here to watch this as their first reaction to me yelling at you constantly. This is gonna be a job. Nope, Alex again. I thought he was listening to the news. Not a lot of buttons on your phone.
まあいつものようにこれも給料のうちだと思って諦めるんだな。
Meanwhile, day 2 of our journey back to the spaceport.
アンネローゼ様も元気そうで何よりでした。何が元気なものか。このようなところに
I could be just fine there. Cake whenever I want it. No one to bother me. Probably no internet, though.
I'm sure they have it. I mean, have to.
Oh, you think there's horse carriage buggy system of servants and serfs? We've also got the internet.
Yeah, ご苦労さん。彼がヤンウェンリー重将です。なるほど。君がエルファシルの英雄か。君にとっての必勝の戦略とはどういうものかね。後の参考のためにぜひ聞かせてくれないか。
The only winning move is not to play.
対して少なくとも6倍の兵力を揃え、補給と整備を完全に行い、司令官の意思を誤たずに伝達することです。勝敗などというものは戦場の外で決まるものです。戦術は所詮戦略の完成を技術的に補佐するものでしかありません。
なかなかに達見だが、すると君たち軍人の戦場における能力は問題にならないのかね。
戦略的条件が互角であれば、無論軍人の能力は重要です。ですが、多少の能力差はまず数量によって補いがついてしまいます。
戦いは数でするものではないとは考えないのかね。
Well, didn't you just say that at the
そん
beginning?
な考えは数を揃えることができなかったものの自己正当化に過ぎません。
Oh, dude's angry.
そのような奇跡を最初から当てにされて戦争を始められたら、前線に立つ者はたまったものではありません。
国防委員長閣下。じゃあパエッタ君、今回はご苦労だったね。
Oh, he asked me for his honest opinion. He got it.
I mean, this dude, I figured that was job.
And Yang doesn't give a shit anyway.
Well,
so.
no, it seems like the guy had a negative opinion from the start because he assumed that the talent of the soldiers was a problem from the outset.
It wasn't.
I'm just saying, he's not saying how can we best utilize the talents of our soldiers. The talents of our soldiers are a problem, is what Job was saying. So it's just a negative opinion of your own troops from the outset of the conversation.
嫌なことがあるとすぐ退役するとおっしゃる。別に嫌なことがなくても退役したがっているさ。影ひなたなくですか？まあ、常識的に考えてしばらく大規模な侵攻はないだろう。この平和な時を利用して年金がつくまでの時間をたっぷり稼がせてもらうことにするさ。
キルヒアイス。ラインハルト様。キルヒアイス、出撃だ。年が明けて早々に2万隻の艦隊を率いて同盟領へ進行せよと。
Well, at least that falls back into the timeline.
早く元帥号を手に入れる機会が巡ってくるとはな。
Yeah, Kirchhoff says well what it is.
姉上は私が武勲を立てて栄達するのを喜んでくださらないのですか？
Why would she?
そんなことがあるはずないでしょ。ただね、ラインハルト、あまり武勲を立てることに焦る必要はないと思うのよ。
焦ってはいませんよ、姉上。でも機会があればそれを最大限に生かすのは当然でしょう。
ラインハルト、あなたはまだ20歳にもなっていないのよ。それで大将閣下でしょ。十分すぎるわ。無理をしないでほしいの。
間もなく20歳にはなります。30歳にも40歳にも。そうなれば、
But not more than that.
不相応のものにはならないでしょう。
その後はどうするの？
Also, wasn't it like more daytime when you cut the cake?
そしてその後は
And we haven't eaten a bite, apparently.
高くを望むの？
まだ山の裾野から中腹に達したばかりです。登るつもりで降りているかもしれないし、転落するかもしれません。あまり先のことを考えても仕方ありませんよ。
そうね。
He knows what he is intended to do, right? And she doesn't want to do it because she doesn't think he's going to survive it.
外れないように見張っていてね。放っておくとどこへ飛んでいくかわからない子だから。
はい、アンネローゼ様。ひどいな、姉上。
Now he's sleeping.
どうした？
What?
負けることは考えないのか？
He said now
Now
he's
he's
sleeping. What?
Leaping.
お人が悪い。ラインハルト様、これは？
確かに叔父上がおっしゃる通り、奴がそのまま戻ってこなければ問題はありません。しかし、
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
したらどうなさいます？次は元帥、あては公爵に進むやもしれませんぞ。
勝てばの話であろう。
Sure.
要は勝たせなければ。
What that was noble track versus military track.
実力があると言っても、幕僚に
Oh, there's Muckenberger.
ということもあろう。
確かに艦隊の両翼を指揮するミッターマイヤー、ロイエンタールの両名はいささか問題は多いが、力には定評がある。
艦隊参謀のメックリンガーも同様だ。真の実力を試すためには、これらを外したところで戦わせてみるべきだろうな。
艦長まで移動するのですか？この人事は一体。要するに、俺の手足をもぎ取ったつもりなんだろう。誰の差し金かな？お怒りにならないのですか？怒っているさ。
We covered this before during the first episode of Dishonor.
Yeah, that he didn't just trust it. It's like they will still follow.
Yeah, he was being set up for failure.
ラインハルト様、負けなどするものか。俺とお前が共に戦う限り、この宇宙を手に入れるまではな。はい、ラインハルト様。
Because two people can't do a lot to command 20,000 ships worth of people across light years of distance.
今回代わりに指揮下に入るのはメルカッツ大将、シュターデン中将、エルラッハ中将、フォーゲル少将。
Vogel. We heard about Vogel before. And
We've heard all
Reinhard,
these.
yeah.
No, we've heard all these names.
メルカッツは
Again in the first episode of Dishonor.
ケレミはないが堅実な良い傭兵をする。
だが何分融通の利かぬ性格が災いして出世の遅れている男だ。若い指揮官としては一番使いにくい相手ではないかな。元帥どもも一番煙たい存在をついでに。
And we already had that problem before with what's his name? Grimmelshausen.
俺が士官学校の時、戦術理論の教官だった。理論家だが実践には無関。我ら学生は理屈倒れのシュターデンと呼んでいたものだ。
差し詰め今回は採点係というところですかな。エルラッハ・フォーゲルは10億里人事の人数合わせで提督になっているような連中だ。足手まといになりこそすれ助けにはならんだろう。もう一人のファーレンハイト少将は問題児だとも評判ですな。下級貴族の出身ですが、食うために軍人になったなどと常々公言しているような御人です。能力はあるようですが。
Yeah, like I said, we only heard of two of them before because they were passing in other episodes of Gaiden.
重りのついた鎖で縛られたようなものではないか。
そうは言っても、今回は我々にはどうすることもできん。あの方を信じるだけだ。
ですが勝敗とは相対的なものです。敵の自滅に助けられることもあるのでは。
それはそうだが、
その点では私に良い知恵がございます。フェザーンの高等弁務官めに今回の出兵計画を耳打ちしてはいかがかと。
なるほど。フェザンの主戦度どものことだ。その情報を反乱軍に売りつけて商いの種にする。
You know, the corridor opposite of Iserlon.
の迎撃準備を整えて小僧を迎えるというわけです。
We just never really regarded them before, so hearing them as Vezeni Lindschreck.
先頃の戦いでは帝国が優勢であったな。
はい。
ならばバランスを取るためにも、今度は同盟に勝ってもらわねばなるまい。
承知しました。同盟政府の。
Well, there you go. That's how they handle that. Not so great for my boy Reinhardt.
大軍を率いて宇宙艦隊戦か。勢力バランスなど情報操作一つでどうにでもなるものを。
I mean, they survive by keeping both powers fighting each other and not trying to take
They
over
literally
them.
just said balance.
Yeah.
承知しました。
敵の総数は2万隻だということだ。6倍は無理だが、倍の4万隻。3個艦隊も出せば十分だろう。
Not giving him the
Yeah, not
supplies
doing what Yang
requested.
told you to do. Yeah.
So that must be Job then. I didn't recognize him because I've only seen him since the first arc that we started with, the Tuesday correspondence one.
余計なことを吹き込んだ張本人に責任を取らせようということになってな。
まさか。本当にそれで第二艦隊に出動が？
本当はパエッタ司令が前回の名誉回復の機会を強く求めたかららしい。まあ実際この前の戦いでは第二艦隊は損害が一番少なかったし、今回は楽勝と踏んでいるから、第4、第6両艦隊司令官も含めて国防委員長が手柄を立てさせたいと思うメンバーで固めたのだろう。
第6艦隊も出るんですか？
ああ、第6艦隊にはラップが配属されていたな。
ええ。
とりあえず近日中に出動だ。準備だけはしてお
I'm gonna be honest here. I don't remember when we met Peita before.
心配事ですか？
I think it was a commander, direct commander under over Yang, remember? It's like, oh, do this and that. It's like, I'm going to do whatever I
The
want.
thing
It's
is,
like,
on the
okay.
board, I have Peita connected to Yang with a green line and Lobos with a green line. so I don't exactly remember which operation it is, as we've been in a lot of operations with Lobos.
交通事故じゃないからな。気をつけろと言われても戦死するときはするんだろうね。
そんなの僕困ります。また戦争孤児に逆戻りです。まだ14ですから軍人になるにも2年はかかります。
ユリアン、お前軍人になるつもりなのか？
You just said that.
亡くなった父も軍人でしたし。何より僕、准将のお手伝いがしたいんです。
別に親の職業を継がなきゃいけないことはないさ。現に私の父親は商人だった。それにユリアンは十分私を助けてくれているじゃないか。この紅茶の入れ方だって上手だし、料理もうまいし。あ、そうだ、いっそコックにならないか？私が退役して年金が出たらレストランの開店資金にしてもいいぞ。どうだ？
Such is the money I expect to get paid.
僕が軍人になることに。
そんなに軍人になりたいのか？
はい。
Because that's the society we live in.
I mean, society has been at war for 150 years, so yeah.
武君を期待しておるぞ、ラインハルト・フォン・ミューゼル。いや、
Is that the Emperor?
Kaiser.
The Kaiser, yeah.
ありがたきご乗、真の全力を尽くします。
See, hates the guy, but he'll ride that dick for a promotion.
高く口うるさい宮廷の老臣どもも、そなたがローエングラム伯爵家を継いだことに不満を申したりもすまい。爵位や地位は功績の結果というのが彼らの主張でな。伯爵家など誰が継ぎ誰が絶やそうと大したことではないのだが、大したことだと思い込んでおる輩のなんと多いことよ。どうかな、余はこうも思うのだ。そなたをいっそ公爵にしてやろうかと。
It's funny that we talked about that exact title before we watched the movie.
ありがたき仰せながら、真にとっては伯爵でさえ身に余る地位でございます。公爵などいわば雲の上の身分、真の手の届くところではございません。
そうか、そう思うか。公爵どころか伯爵でさえ身に余るか。
御意でございます、陛下。
雲の上の身分に思えるか。皇帝は公爵より偉いのだということに世の中ではなっておるな。キームそう思うか？はい。そうか、そう思うか。
The Kaiser playing his own game here? He has to be.
I mean, obviously.
そしてその後はまた別のものを目指すのだな。
And then playing it off like
So
he's
maybe-
just drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, to be
So
fair, it's
maybe-
all a mind game. Because, you know, at the end of the
True.
day, I'm fucking your sister.
Yeah.
So it's all a mind game.
ライハルト様。
Fucking cold with that uniform on?
キルヒアイス、出陣だ。
Oh, yeah, we know that.
I guess the idea is that he's now been promised a marquis position if he comes back successful. Because either he dies out here or he returns a coward, as per. Crap, I can't remember his position in the government. The one problem with Legends of the Galactic Heroes is I have to remember a completely fictional government and all of its positions. And unfortunately on the board I've only written down that he's a duke. I did not put down his actual governmental title.
A lot of these people are gonna be dead. Because they're gonna be facing Reinhard. He's supposed oh wow, that guy is really dead.
Well, that was a Lobos.
準将、前線でも食事に気をつけてくださいよ。いくら忙しくてもきちんと取らないとダメですからね。
大丈夫だよ。そんなに仕事しないから。
As per. When you get back, we'll be married.
心配しなくても今回は楽勝さ。な、ヤン。
Oh, he knows about it. He knows about his tail.
無事で帰ってきてね。
あ、約束するよ。帰ってきたら一緒に家を探しに行こう。二人で住む家をね。
Death flags all the way to the grave. Come on, man. And by man,
Come on,
I
you
mean
don't need like
her.
permission to kiss her. Yeah, like what the hell?
At this point, maybe he should just die. He's gonna come home to be a cuck the rest of his life anyway. Hold on, let me ask my secret husband if I can actually fuck my actual husband.
ヤン、ジャン・ロベル。二人とも本当に無事に帰ってきてね。
Oh, now he dies and they renew the relationship after he's dead? That would be awkward.
楽勝とはいかないか？うん。おいおい、エルファシルの英雄が情けないぜ。大丈夫大丈夫。
Yeah, but nobody listens to him until it's too late.
But also, he's under the command of that guy who seemed to actively dislike him. And yet, on my board, I have them as a friendly relationship. That might just be because they're on the same side. The difficulty of having an antagonistic relationship with someone who's also on your side. That does not look like a push. Yeah, that's a pull. It says push, but that's clearly a pull. The problem when your plain external requires a translator who did not understand the language.
I think this is going to happen. Reinhard is going to beat these guys to a pulp, but Yang is going to be good enough to save what's left.
敵の総数は2万隻。対する我が軍は参考艦隊4万隻。すなわち敵に倍する兵力である。
Well, we can also see it on the board behind them.
Yeah.
It's one fleet of 20,000 ships versus three fleets of 40,000 ships. Which means individually each fleet is going to be smaller than the Empire's one fleet.
Yeah.
See, even on that board.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it can.
And Yang even mentioned before that if they move their ships improperly, they could still lose this easy.
That's what I'm saying, that Reinhard is going to obliterate these guys, and Yang will be the one who saves what's left. Rescues the situation from being total destruction.
I've never felt more Reinhardt than I do right now.
いつの時代、どこの社会でも人は幼い頃には夜空の星を見上げて、それを取ろうと手を伸ばす。
If only we're in the part of your chair loop where you're at the bottom. And you could do the...
それが大人になることだという。だが、俺はそうは思わない。必ずあの星々をこの手に。
Says the guy who was just doing handstands in a yard.
で、やはり敵は我が軍の2倍の兵力で三方から接近しつつあります。それについて5人の提督方が閣下に緊急にお会いしたいと申し込んでこられました。ほう、お会いになりませんか？
いや、あってやるさ。奴らの門を開いてやらねばならんからな。
That's kind of funny.
What do you mean?
Give me a second. I'm waiting to confirm that what's happening is happening. Yeah. This is a scene that happened in Die New Thesis, and it happens over communications. They don't go to the same place. I mean, eventually I do. They might just be different scenes I'm thinking of.
我が軍が不利な状況にある。そのことに私の注意を喚起したいというのだろう。
さようですか。我が軍の正面に敵の第4艦隊が位置し、その兵力は1万2000。左方向に敵第2艦隊1万5000。右に第6艦隊1万3000。合わせれば我が方の2倍の4万隻となり、我が軍は圧倒的に不利な体制に置かれたと言わざるを得ません。ここは攻に流行ることなく。
I mean, to be fair, the numbers advantage isn't even that great on a one-on-one fleet situation. At best, it's what, 12,000 to 20,000?
我々が敵より圧倒的に有利な体制にあるからだ。
なんですと？どうも召喚のように不憫なものには理解しがたい見解を有しておいでのようですな。もう少し詳しく説明していただけるとありがたいのですが。
敵は我が方の2倍と K は言うが、それはあくまでも全体を合計すればの話だ。敵は依然分身合撃の過程にあって、その兵力は3方に分散されている。一箇所に集中した我が軍がその個々の艦隊に対すれば、数の上で我が方が有利なのは自明の理だ。さらに我が軍は包囲しようとする敵の中央に位置しているため、敵がそれぞれ合流しようとするより早く敵を捉えることができる。
Again, I think this is the cockiness he got from flying in the middle of two fleets and not getting shot at for any good reason.
我が軍は敵に対し兵力の集中と機動性の両点において優位に立っている。これを勝利の条件と呼ばずして何と呼ぶか。
How do you have superior mobility? You should be the less mobile.
敵をかっこ撃破する好機にあるのだ。
I mean, if you're talking about moving as a group, them trying to combine, then sure. But 20,000 ships is pretty unwieldy, it feels like.
総司令の作戦案を。
理屈倒れのシュターデンに机上の空論呼ばわりとはな。
ではやはり
マイナスのマイナスはプラスかもしれんぞ。
I think that would be very dangerous. Like, whoa!
I'm assuming these would have gotten used to this over time.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody who's afraid of an escalator just finally gets used to escalators.
よろしいのですか？皆不祥不祥の体で帰っていきましたが。
放っておけ。奴らに上位者に逆らうだけの度胸があるものか。せいぜいつるんで嫌味を言いに来るのが関の山だ。
ですが、それだけ陰にこもるかもしれません。犯行はしないまでも、サボタージュを決め込まれては厄介なことになります。
相変わらずお前は心配性だな。
Or, you know, they could just do whatever the fuck they want, like it seems so many other commanders do.
閣下の作戦に好意的に見えました。もともと公正に定評がある人物です。
Oh, was Fahrenheit the platinum blonde?
はい、閣下。
キルヒアイス。
I thought you could pull him in for a kiss. I thought we were going there.
Yeah.
いつも言っているだろ。
分かってはいるのですが。
分かっているなら実行しろ。この戦いが終わったらお前自身が閣下になるのだから。準将に昇進だ。楽しみにしておくんだな。
I don't know. Siegfried's always felt like more of a ground level guy.
どうした？キルヒアイス。
いえ、何でもありません。
Also, was he thinking about Anna Rose, or was he seeing Anna Rose in Reinhard?
君の提出した作戦案を見た。
はあ。
You know, Reinhard, if you put on a dress, I think we could do this.
そうでしょうか。君自身が期している通り、確かに負けがたい作戦案ではある。しかし、負けないだけでは意味がない。
我が軍は敵を三方から包囲している。しかも2倍の兵力でだ。この上、なぜ負けない算段をせねばならんのかね。
ですが、まだ包囲網が完成されたわけではありません。
とにかく、この作戦案は
Also, from the element that they're a complete fleet on their own, that means that they could probably punch through your encirclement at any given point.
Yeah.
言っておくが、君に含むところがあるわけではないぞ。
And why say it?
Yeah, it might have gone without saying if you hadn't said it.
どうも何を考えているのかよくわからん。
He's thinking that you're gonna lose, dude, if you don't do what needs to be done. As has happened before.
Yeah, I think it probably would have been better to combine into two fleets and do a pincer maneuver. That way you'd have equivalent fleet sizes on both of pincer sides. Nostalgia for Jessica, because she used to do this.
Oh, she's a professor now.
Also, there's never going to be enough signatures to stop the war.
Wow. There's somebody in the background going like this, that flag, that flag, that flag.
戦争の役に立たないことには予算を出さないなんて絶対に許してはいけないわ。でもね、諦めちゃいけないわよ。こう見えても私たちも学生時代に同じようなことをしたのよ。私たち
The war on
今度
war.
結婚することになった人ともう一人の親友と無事に帰ってきてジャン・ロベル。
At least he said she said John Robert's name first.
Yeah.
急進して第4艦隊と接触するならん。なんだと、そんな非常識な。ありえんことだ。
Yep, they took
I'm minding
advantage
my own
while you're
business.
moving too slow.
Yeah.
Now, if you assume that's a QWERTY keyboard, you could probably try to figure out what he's typing. Gotta love a good klaxon sound.
敵の司令官は傭兵を知らぬ。こんな戦い方があるか。司令官閣下どうなさいます。
Turn and engage.
こそ必勝の策だと言ったのは機関だではないか。どうなさいますとは何事だ。第2、第6両艦隊に緊急通信。アルファ 7.4、ベータ 3.9、ガンママイナス 0.6 の中域にて敵と遭遇。直ちに来源を口頭。ダメです。妨害電波が。閣下、敵が。
Have we done jamming before? I don't remember.
No.
That was more involved than normal. Scarred its way right across the side of the ship, and then it exploded into gas.
Like I said, Reinhard is gonna punch through, defeat a bunch of them, but no. Oh, fighters.
Well, we've already encountered fighters before.
Yeah.
You said that they were completely unimportant.
Before. Now let's see if they actually
It's literally the same year as the last time we saw fighters. It's the element that he's teaching them that numbers on paper don't mean anything.
Yeah.
You say you're going to win because you have 40,000, twice the number of our ships. It's about how you use the ships.
Yeah.
There you go, lessons. There's proof that I was right. Fighters are useful against the ships. Fuck your ships.
There goes the carrier.
You know, where a blitzkrieg group should be. Man, if you're standing on one of these ships and you see the hull rising up with a heat metal, you know you're fucked. At that point, you might as well pull out your own gun and shoot yourself in the head before you get exposed to space. That's a bit of a dick move.
Desperate move.
Well, you would think they were going to ram, but we just got a whole scene of them not moving. And not ram, I just mean collide.
ヤン准将、はい。機関はこの事態をどう見る？意見を言ってみたまえ。
やはり敵は括弧撃破に出てきたということでしょう。まず正面の第4艦隊を処理にかかったのは当然の選択です。第4艦隊は最も数も少なく、残る第6艦隊と我が艦隊の距離は最も遠いので、敵とすれば第4艦隊を打ち破った後でも
Yeah, you won't have enough mass to.
どちらかと対することができますから。
I mean, that's entirely dependent on their ability to turn faster than you can.
敵の2万隻に対して第4艦隊は1万2000隻。勝敗はおのずから明らかです。
ならばなおのごと戦場に急行して第4艦隊を
No, you should pull back and join with the 4th Fleet.
帝国軍の後輩を突くこともできる。
おそらく無理でしょ
う。どういう意味だ？
我々が到着する前に戦闘は終わっている。
Yeah, you're chasing them, which is to their advantage.
戦場を離脱して我々と第6艦隊が合流する前にいずれかの背後に回って攻撃。
Oh, sorry, I got the numbers wrong. I said 4th, I meant 6th.
どうしろというのだ。
第2、第6艦隊は最短距離を通って合流し、その中域
に Attack them from the rear, yeah.
両艦隊を合わせれば2万8000隻、2万の敵と互角以上の戦いができます。
では君は第4艦隊を見殺しにしろというのか？
今からではどうせ間に合いません。
しかし、友軍の危機を放置してはおけん。
I mean, technically.
3艦隊いずれもが敵の括弧撃破戦法の餌食になってしまいます。
I get what Yang is going with here, but technically, if they follow what they're doing right now, the 20,000 ships are going to turn to attack the 13,000 ships, and there will still be 15,000 ships coming up their ass. So it'd still be a good position for the Alliance, just not the best one. Oh, they think he already has the name. I guess he has the name.
ですが、ローエングラム伯は先の戦いの白い船の指揮官です。その指揮ぶりは
Talk to the hand, Yang. Because this asshole ain't listening.
Seatbelts would have been useful.
Well, like I said, pull your gun out and shoot yourself in the head before you get exposed to space. I'd rather go from the gunshot than space exposure.
組織的な抵抗は終わりました。以後、総統選に移ることになりますが。
無用だ。
Yeah, you don't want to waste time sitting here. You gotta move on to the next thing.
逃げ散った敵など放置しておいてよい。それより次の戦闘に備えることだ。
わかりました。総司令官閣下。
少しは態度が変わったな、彼も。
ええ。変わらざるを得ない。
Oh, you get him results.
次に左右どちらの艦隊を攻撃すべきだと思う？キルヒアイ。
I'll attack the one you tell me not to.
側背に回ることも可能ですが、お考えは消しておりましょう。
まあな。
右方向に位置する第6艦隊の方が兵力が少のうございますね。
その通りだ。このまま右方向に進路を変更しつつ進み、敵第6艦隊の右舷側背に回って攻撃をかける。所要時間はどれくらいだ
？4時間弱です。
こいつ、もう計算していたな。その旨を全艦隊に伝達。
I mean, this is one of the simpler battles that we've seen so far.
何か意義でも。
3 enemy lines, 1 friendly line.
時間的余裕がありますので、兵士たちに休息を取らせてはいかがかと思いますが。
ああ、そうだな。気がつかなかった。交代で休ませろ。
はい。
うちの若い司令官もなかなかやるじゃないか。
なんだ知らないのか。俺たちは大昔のウッド提督の再来だって言ってたんだぜ。
へえ、俺たちはこっちに配属されたばかりだが、前のところは貴族のドラ息子が指揮官でさ、こっちに来たらまた貴族で、しかもあんな綺麗な坊やだから、こりゃもうダメかと思ってたんだ。
そりゃお前認識不足ってもんよ。
そのようだな。
They're high spirits that they're all alive and fighting.
Well, it's a less harsh tone of the same conversation that we got back in Mutiny.
そうだとも。あのような敵が相手なら誰でも勝てる。何もあのような小僧の言いなりにならずとも。
こうなったら小僧一人の功績にされてたまるか。必ず出し抜いてくれる。
Oh, you win. If he wins, you win too. So yeah.
Yeah, but remember, this is all about personal glory and whatnot. That's why I said earlier on that it'd be surprising if none of these guys just charged out and did their own thing.
戦う以上犠牲が出るのは仕方がない。だが、いや、だからこそ最小の犠牲で最大の効果を得ることに傭兵というものの存在意義があるはずだ。冷酷な言い方をすれば、傭兵とはいかに効率よく味方を死なせるかということになる。
Civil Wars? Why bring up Civil Wars?
その辺のことが分かって
Well, technically, this is a civil war.
Not really.
A rebellion.
To the Empire, it's a civil war because they consider them rebellion. To the Alliance, it's they're their own polity, so they don't consider themselves part of the Empire. They're trying to take out the Empire. So, and from the point of view characters, Dusty here, why would he call it a civil war? Why would Yang call it a civil war?
敵に倍する兵力をわざわざ分散させる必要はありますまい。むしろ兵力を集中させて正面から迎え撃った方が数の有利を生かせるのではないでしょうか。
この作戦はダゴン聖域の殲滅戦を再現させ
It's not working, dude.
我らがラップ少佐は時の司令官リンパ王ユースフ・トパロール両元帥に勝る知恵の持ち主らしい。
The ones we barely know anything about. Remember, Bruce Ashby was compared to them too, and we just don't know them.
識別不能。4時半だと？はい、4時半の方角です。敵か味方かまだ判別しません。おお、どちらの4時半だ？午前か午後か。
What?
うろたえよって、敵が4時半の方角にいるはずがないではないか。我々は戦場に急行しておる。つまり敵は我々の行く手にいるのだ。ですが、閣下。なんだ。
I just don't know what the AM/PM thing meant. Could be the same direction.
そう思われます。第4艦隊を放置してか？
申し上げにくいことですが、第4艦隊はすでに敗退したと将官は予測します。
大胆でしかも不愉快な予想だな。少佐、油で口が滑らかになったと見える。
Sir, I believe it was an enemy.
On the ground. Yeah. We're raiding it.
どうした？
右舷後方より敵襲。
敵が後ろにいる？敵の別動隊でしょ。
Like I said, Reinhard is going to beat them, and then, Yang is going to pull the final fleet out of the fire.
It's kind of makes you look like shit. You got ambushed in a 4-hour approach. Legitimate, it doesn't matter if they're jamming you. You could take a telescope and see them coming.
我々のような老兵の時代は去ったのかもしれんな。
閣下、敵の艦列が崩れました。
敵陣に突入しつつ近接戦闘に移る。
全艦隊反転せよ。
閣下、反転させても混乱が生じるだけです。時計回りに進路を変えながら全艦前進し、逆に敵の後輩につくべきです。
敵の後輩につくまでに味方の隊
Yeah, I guess with the exception of the fighters and those missile boats.
Yeah.
Most of the ships fire straight ahead, so if you can get past them. And you might be able to get past them faster than backing up would get you away.
And that's when John Robert dies. Too late.
Yeah, not a whole hell of a lot you can do from inside of the ship to try and save yourself once.
Yeah. Fighters coming, yeah.
Well, I just mean like when you put on a spacesuit, you're still gonna be in the middle of an explosion and in the middle of a battle zone. Like Ryu in Origin. Although he survived, so maybe it's a bad example.
間もなく勝敗は決しますが、降伏勧告をなさっては。
キルヒアイスは優しいな。
Yeah, doesn't mean that we'll have to take prisoners, though?
Well, yeah.
Oh, you're wrong.
I would say being magnanimous is the option of the victor.
Jessica. 司令官、あれをこちらにも完全に包囲されました。発光信号です。
I thought it was sunlight for a second. I was like, oh, thank God we polished the ships before we left.
解読してみろ。解読します。機関は完全に包囲せられたり、脱出の道なし、降伏せよ。寛大なる処遇を約束す。
Could argue that this is a mistake. They're wasting time letting the other ships know.
生きて領収の恥ずかしめを受けろというのか。しかし閣下、一時の汚辱にまみれても生きてさえいれば再戦の機会も得られます。ここは貴様、命を惜しむか。かくなる上は玉砕あるのみだ。死して無人の魂を敵に見せつけてくれるわ。それは
Yeah, there's no telling that the rest of the crew would have a problem with living with dishonor.
どちらが卑怯か。反抗するか。ラップ少佐を拘束しろ。上官反抗罪だ。よせ、みんな。
Oh, never mind. I guess they were. They're on board.
軍事ロマンチシズムに毒されるんじゃない。全艦全速。
And they fired. Explosive instrumentation.
I guess that's a reactor problem. Because the console should really only explode if it's like massive feedback or something. Also, shitty capacitors, I guess. Who could have seen this coming?
Yeah.
I really wish they hadn't given us so many scenes of her looking to Yang as much, because this kind of is ruined by that. This would be a lot sadder if it seemed like they were in more of a romance. But the element was she seemed entirely uncertain about it.
The premonition.
That's right. You should be superstitious. Wow, right on his picture too. His part of the picture.
On his side, the side of I'm free of him now. now I can go with Yang, I guess. Or maybe Yang chooses someone else. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. That
turns out she's the big bad. Actually, things have progressed exactly as I have foreseen.
今頃はなんてこった。それじゃあラップ先輩も。それはわからない。全滅と言っても一隻残らず沈むことなどありえない。あとは祈るだけですか。
Nah, but we saw the audience.
我々が今しなければならないことはミスの再発を防ぎ、犠牲の拡大を防ぐことだ。どうするんですか。手は打ってやる。だがそれを生かす機会が与えられるか。じれったいな。ヤン先輩にもっと権限があれば。
Again, if you had more authority, you could do something about it.
軍人は命令に従う義務がある。それを超えて恣意的に行動することは許されない。そんなことをしたら少なくとも民主国家の軍隊ではなくなってしまう。
第4艦隊も第6艦隊も全滅したらしいぞ。我が部隊だけでは敵よりも数が少ないじゃないか。
Yeah, really turned it all around. Reinhard, I mean, obviously.
I told you he would.
I don't know how to handle that. You act as though I disagreed with you.
That seems like a bit.
急速接近中。方角は1時から2時。方角は1時20分、深く11度。
Literally hours to see it coming. That does not seem like a brilliant thing for him to deduct. Yeah, feels like there's a giant flaw in having your screens being like just a bunch of things on the wall. Any damage to your ship and you suddenly can't see anymore.
パエッタ司令が負傷された。軍医および看護兵は環境へ来てくれ。各部署は被害状況を調べて修復せよ。報告はその後でいい。誰か士官で無事なものは。私は大丈夫です。
Doesn't look like he's unhurt.
To be fair, he's not just doing anything that Yang doesn't always do.
Yeah.
Hang on to the wall.
先手を取れましたね。
このまま完全勝利だ。
敵は同盟第2艦隊です。第2艦隊には確か
あの男がいるのか。
It seems like it would be fucking impossible to remember the one guy that gave you a hard time. 20,000 ships, hundreds of thousands of crew.
君が艦隊の指揮を取れ。
私がですか。
健在な士官の中でどうやら
Yeah, the fact that he's a Commodore means he outranks Kirchase in equivalency.
君の手腕を。
司令官。
いや、気を失われただけです。担架を頼む。
Oh, he's dead. No, he just passed out with the pain.
Oh. Now, to be fair, he is coughing up a lot of blood. We're not coughing up, just spitting out so much blood.
全艦隊に告げる。私はパエッタ司令官の次席幕僚ヤン准将だ。機関パトロクロスが被弾し、司令官は重傷を負われた。司令官の命により、私が全艦隊の指揮を引き。
Oh, hey, those two. We know them from before. They have the hard-based fighter squadron.
私の命令に従えば助かる。生還したい者は落ち着いて私の指示に従ってほしい。我々は現在のところ負けているが、要は最後の瞬間に勝っていればいいのだ。我ながら偉そうなこと言ってるな。
いや、期待してますよ。
負けはしない。新たな指示を伝えるまで各艦は当面の敵を撃破することに専念せよ。
Until you tell you otherwise, continue doing what you were doing.
負けはしないか。この後に及んでどう劣勢を挽回するつもりだ。まあいい。お手並み拝見といこうか。キルヒアイス。はい。隊列を組み直す。全艦隊防水陣形を取るように伝達してくれ。理由はわかるな。
中央突破をなさるおつもりですか？
そうだ。さすがだな。
That feels like it's a mistake. Like, why would you? You're winning. Full-on bombardment seems the way to keep going. Because obviously Dusty was injured. Wait, was he? This guy has the same hair as Dusty.
No.
This is Dusty. Who was that other guy with green hair?
帝国軍としては当然の戦法だろう。どう対処します？対策は考えてあるよ。しかし味方にどうやって伝えますか？通信では敵に傍受されてしまいます。心配ない。各艦に戦術コンピューターの C4 回路を開くようそれだけを伝えればいい。それだけ
How if you're being jammed?
何のことかわからないだろう。すると事態がこうなることを予測して作戦を事前にコンピューターにインプットしていたんですか？無用になっていればよかったんだがな。ああ、それより早く指示を伝えてくれ。あ、そうでした。
But this is also something that happens in Die New Thesis that doesn't make sense in either spot. If they're being jammed, how are you going to communicate the order that you pre-programmed into every ship? So I'm going to go have a little bit of epilepsy in a minute.
全艦突入！
突入！突入せよ！
敵艦接近！艦艇から見て戦艦を割れにしたい！主砲精査！
Again, more of continue to do what you've been doing.
さらに敵艦ゲルンテン！続けて撃て！回避しろ！
Scary shit. But again, think back to the other guy who shot on his own allies to make sure he didn't ram. And this is as close as we can get.
敵の戦意が高いですね。我々は名将の誕生する瞬間に立ち会っているのかもしれない。名将？部下に腐敗の信仰を抱かせる指揮官を名将と呼ぶ。敵の戦意の高さはローエングラム博士。
Clearly Dusty is the narrator, letting us know.
どうやら勝ったな。
No, he's
どうやらうまくいきそうだ。
So they broke open in front of you, and now you've been flanked. Remember that time where I said he flew between two formations and nobody shot at him, and he got cocky? Well, apparently it's happened again, too.
今だ！エンジン全開！敵が左右に分かれ、我が軍の両側を高速で逆進していきます。
ヒルヒアイスしてやられた。敵は二手に分かれて我が軍の後輩に回る気だ。中央突破戦法を逆手に取られてしまった。
どうなさいます？反転迎撃なさいますか？
I mean, it's either, yeah, hard turn or run.
俺に愚か者になれというのか。第六艦隊司令官以上の。
では前進するしかありませんね。
その通りだ。全艦隊全速前進。
To force him to follow him.
やった。後ろを取った。いや、まだだ。
Well, because the only advantage they have is momentum.
Yeah.
Or numbers. I guess they also have numbers. And what did I say?
Yeah, yeah.
Glory seeking. Idiot, you knew they were behind you, you said it. And yeah, the act of turning makes you broadside to them. Well, at least the tactical maps have gotten a lot more interesting.
The action has gotten better too, more exciting.
Well, I just mean, looking at the tactical maps back in the Bruce Ashby days, it's like, what the fuck is even happening here? We can clearly understand this.
Following the tail, you know. Not the first time we've seen.
Yeah, it's not ours. That's why I mentioned it back then. It's like, oh, that's interesting, because I remember this. No, you can win this. Take the middle portion of your loop and split through the middle and attack the middle portion of their loop. Break the circle. Because the middle of your ships are attacking nobody. Yeah, I mean, technically you stood up to 40,000 ships with 20,000 ships and draw.
And the other guys are so mangled that they're not going to follow you. So,
as I said, technically draw.
Young wenli.
I mean, technically it's a loss because you're attacking their territory, so if you leave, then they've won. It's not a great victory. Pyrrhic? Almost Pyrrhic victory?
But remember, he was expected to die. He was sent to die.
Well, no, he was expected to die or run. The cowardice route was in front of him, and technically he is leaving.
Well, he accomplished a mission of destroying 2/3 of the enemy fleet. So.
That wasn't his mission. His mission was to take the territory.
やれやれ。今度会ったら叩き潰してやるぞってことだな。どうします？変身しますか？いいさ、放っておいて。先方もそんなものは期待してないんじゃないかな。それより暫定の収容を急いでくれ。助けられる限りは助けたい。了解。あ、それから。ジャン、あ、いや、第六艦隊の状況も調べてくれ。了解。
Tell me how dead Lap is.
Or Jean Robin.
That is Lap.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in the 6th Fleet. If I had all the authority. Rise of Yang, military dictator. I still much prefer the Imperial uniforms.
I like the.
Like I said, it's like the Zeon uniform. You immediately can tell the rank of a person just by looking at the uniform.
It's
Those guys
interesting
are
that they're
going to
supposed
be
to be neutral,
Galactic
but they
Heroes.
dress like in the Alliance, not in the way.
Well, they're merchants, remember?
Yeah.
I guess if you have personal freedom, you're not going to dress like a military guy.
Or like the nobles here.
Well, yeah, because they're not being repressed socially. They can do whatever the hell they want. We all chose capes today. Good. I wish I had chosen a cape. Oh, that's my dude. Well, at least we got to see my girl at the very beginning of the movie. And apparently, I guess we're going to have to wait 5 years or whatever the time frame was that she said when she was riding around in her car, or the narrator said.
And he's the one who has to deliver the bad news.
It's ice.
Or
just
not.
falls, dies, end movie.
It's a lot of graves.
Well, you got to imagine, again, hundreds of years of war. How many bodies get retrieved? Do we have like a graveyard planet for this, or?
Probably. No, not a planet, but like...
I mean, hundreds of years of one war?
150 years.
Yeah, but it's still thousands of thousands of thousands of people dead.
Millions. He's anti-war, so I think
ironically,
this is not gonna work.
for what? A greater pension. So I don't think he ever expressed any desire for, like, the end of the war. I mean, she did, obviously, but I think...
Yeah.
What was his reason for fighting? I would have to assume a greater pension to retire with. That's right, get your face right in there.
And a cloak.
Or a cape. I believe a cloak involves a head element.
Yeah.
And not to be, not for nothing, I've been drawn with the cape the entire time, so... Okay, who let Porn Dad into the lineup?
He's always been there.
I know, I just thought it would be funny to poke at him.
Is that his personal symbol, the lion?
No fucking clue.
Wow.
We're going back. You know, Commander Sithole, what they say about insanity. That's right, it's a Death Star with an almost cloaking device.
Yeah.
That also can't move. It's a trade-off. Also, it would be real stupid to have thing with a cloaking device that can't move.
Yeah.
The first time you detect it, you know it's there.
Fire in the general direction. Oh, we're hitting something. Okay, keep firing.
So here's the stupidity that I know I'm going to get torn or raked across the comment section for. This was essentially also the first 2 episodes of Die New Thesis.
Yeah.
So I've seen this before in the Dainu These version. And then we're going to go watch the next 2 episodes of the first 2 episodes of the show, which they've already told us is going to be this. I know. They're like, you're fucking stupid. Why are you going to keep doing this? And it's like, well, for the reasons I've already given. Funny to me that this was exactly the same. It played out almost exactly the same. I think, of course, Dainu These does it better. At the same time, I'm expecting the show to go slower than Dainu These. Because my joke was constantly, I'm bleeding from the nose because the Dainu These is going way too fast.
How many episodes is Dainu These?
I don't know. The element was we got like 3 seasons into Dainu These. And I don't know that it was finished. So, but I think each season of Dainu These was maybe like 12 episodes. So 3 seasons of 12 episodes is only 36 episodes versus 100 of Legend of Galactic Heroes. But then, like I said, there's difficulty in figuring out what's going on because everything is so fast. I obviously can't give you examples. That would be spoilers.
Yeah.
And also, I don't have the contrary example of how slow this might go, where things might get explained.
I will say, I will couple of things before we're finishing here. Maybe continue on. The fight scenes were more exciting here because you can feel the tension. In Gaiden, it was like, oh, we shoot each other. Oh, hey, this already happened. How fun. Here, like, okay, the stakes are higher. We care about the people who are, at least some of them anyway, right?
1993. Well, I mean, hopefully it continues and this isn't just a spectacle for the movie.
And the art direction was much better. I liked it. But then again, it's a movie, so they had, I guess, better, higher budget, so they went for that.
I mean, we'll be able to directly compare when we watch the show and then see the show, if those were just added scenes for the movie, or is the show actually the same way? I mean, show, but I mean the first 2 episodes again.
Yeah, but overall, I think this was pretty solid. Probably some of the best stuff we've seen already from
Oddly, I'd say this is probably the second best of the movies.
Which one would be?
I know that we're all going to say that Golden Wings visually sucks as a comparison to the rest. Narratively, though, I think that was the best story.
Exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get the childhood.
And all that.
Yeah, we get the childhood of them. But when we get to Iserlon and I can't remember the guy's name. I'll call him Muncher or something like that. I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah, the commander who wanted to kill them. Who nearly killed them.
Well, he just has a funny name, and for some reason the funny name just doesn't stick in my head. I want to go Krumbach.
Commander.
Gregor von Krumbach, the
malicious
emo guy. Well, he's the only super like white guy. Like, I mean, only like white guy, but like the dude's wearing Kiss makeup, white guy.
Yeah, I mean, I call him the commander of Empire, basically. He's so pale.
Well, actually, he's a lieutenant commander. Thank you.
Well, lieutenant commander. Yeah,
but in doubt, there's a lieutenant somewhere, and it's usually everyone around you. It's everyone is like boarding the ship, and it's like, look to your left, look to your right. All 3 of you are commanders. I mean, lieutenants. Sorry, my joke fell apart there, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree.
You don't make the distinction between lieutenant commander and commander unless you have a commander and a lieutenant commander. So both of them are commanders.
Well, to be fair, Worf is a lieutenant. Data is a lieutenant commander. That's why Data takes over the ship more often than Worf does. In fact, Worf only takes over the ships if there's a mistake. Like, everyone gets amnesia.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm wearing this decorative band. That must mean that I'm in charge.
This one was the faster the pace was there. Didn't waste, because I don't think about Gaiden, and probably the regular series wouldn't be like that. At times it was just felt very tedious. Like, okay, you could do this. We said this earlier. We could do this in 3 episodes. Where I guess that's why there's the new thing. Somebody said, "Yeah, we could do this in like 40 episodes." You sure? Sure, well, we can do that.
To be fair, again, this is like the first 2 episodes of Dainu These. This is also going to be the first 2 episodes of the show. So, and obviously you're yawning right here, and I may have been seen to have yawned a number of times in the episode. That's not because I found it boring or the fact that this is the 3rd time that I'm seeing it.
No, I just
No. I did not sleep. Yeah. Like, I was awake so late last night that I had to set an alarm to wake up just before we got together to make sure I didn't oversleep this recording. So, yeah, no, I think this is the third time. It might be the fourth time, ironically. So, yeah, the element of, there's the producer aspect in me, which is like, you're not saying a lot, so I have to interject, but I also have to interject in a way that doesn't give everything away, since I know what's going to happen.
Like I was saying, I do like the production values. I like the story. It moves at a very good clip. The battles are more interesting than almost anything that we've seen so far. We finally get to see, we've seen Yang, participate. He finally takes command. And like I said, I expected Reinhard to kick ass until Yang came in like, oh, I'm going to save the day. And that's what he did, right? So, the show could have tried to surprise me, but
yeah, I mean, for me, the big points are...
Sorry about that. I feel like a dwarf here.
Well, I mean, it is close to Halloween.
Yeah.
My biggest points here is, one, the jamming thing doesn't carry through, because how does Gang communicate with the rest of the fleet if he's being jammed? And again, when they go into Mobius loop mode, or it's not Mobius loop, they're not doing, but when they go in giant circle mode, take your middle ships, cross them in the middle, and attack them broadside.
Yeah, but then the thing is that, well, I guess you could have crossfire. Well, you have to.
You would have to. Also, that would be the only way that the battle would move forward. Otherwise, the back of your fleet's getting its ass chewed out, and the front of your fleet's attacking the back of their fleet. It's attrition, as they said. The only way to make any winning move is the same thing that Reinhard does at the very beginning, which is to take the first move, make the advantage your action. You take out the middle of your fleet, cross the way, and start shooting at the middle of the fleet. You're going to be the one with the first action to give advantage. And in which case, you might cause a panic, in which case they might outmaneuver or try to retreat. You have everything to gain, and literally nothing to lose. The middle of your fleet's not being attacked. It's just moving information.
Maybe, well, I don't know how far you got into in Densetsu. They said, what, two seasons? So maybe we'll never see how they break out of this formation. They try something different that prevents it from falling into this. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to give anything away.
Yeah.
What spoilers I have in me due to thesis, I'm not going to say, and also large, massive chance I've forgotten. Like I said, it was a lot happening really fast.
The thing is, now I think it's very interesting, because for Yang to keep up his, building up hit, because he has to catch up essentially to Reinhard. He has to take Isolon, right, or destroy it. So will the rest of the series like, oh, remember Isolon was very important? Got blown
he
up
has
in episode 3 or 4. So.
Well, the element here, remember that Reinhardt was being set up for failure, and then he succeeded, even though technically he did not succeed. I think that sets up the element that you can achieve something, and it doesn't have to be the mission statement, and still progress. Reinhardt got everything he wanted while not achieving the mission parameters, so it could seem conceivable that, the same way that the last battle of Isolon they considered to be a victory, even though they didn't win the Battle of Isolon. The same thing could happen to Yang.
Yes. Also, I think it's the nature of this war they've been fighting for so long that any minor victory is hailed as, oh, we got this particular advantage. Oh, well, you did very well because everyone else just dies. So,
I mean, it's a 150-year battle of attrition. So,
yeah.
All right. Well,
so this was...
final thoughts.
I liked it.
Yeah, well, like I said, to me, second best. All right.
I think it's in the top for me.
Well, there's only 3, so you're saying it's your number 1. Okay. Again, there might be the element that this might be the 4th time I'm seeing it, so that might have a detrimental effect towards my ranking. All right. Well, either way, once again, this has been Stoneface Reactions. I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. And we will catch you in the show proper. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?